Framing in behavioral economics. Framing effects in consumer choice. In the basic model of consumer behavior, the choices are described in the abstract form. For instance, red pencils or blue pencils, or commodity X or commodity Y, and so on. And this is because of the presumption that consumers know exactly the characteristics of commodities and they have full information about the characteristics, qualities, prices, etc. of the commodities. Therefore, in basic model of consumer behavior, choices are often described in an abstract format. However, in real life, people are strongly affected by how choices are presented to them or framed. For example, a faded pair of jeans in a thrift shop may be perceived very differently than the same jeans sold in an exclusive showroom. We may be ready to pay a high price for the same jeans in an exclusive showroom, whereas the price of the same thing that we are willing to pay may be very less in a thrift shop. Another example, a store might sell dozens of copies of a book priced at $29.95, whereas the same book priced at $29 would have substantially fewer sales. Let us consider a skin cream, a product. Suppose that in one skin cream, the package claims that it will slow the aging process. Take another skin cream, the same one, quality is same, everything is same, but the description on the package is slightly different. It says like this, making you feel young again. So we have two skin creams of the same quality, but the package of one skin cream claims that it will slow the aging process, whereas the other package claims that it will make you feel young again. So these are the two ways in which one product is described. These products might be essentially identical except for their packaging. Yet, in the real world, where information is sometimes limited and perspective matters, many individuals would prefer to buy the product that emphasizes youth. So, the second product, which describe itself as making you feel young again, will get more customers because the description of that product is sufficient to attract more customers related to the description of the other product that it will slow the aging process. More people are likely to be attracted by the description of the product that it will make you feel young again. This shows the description of the product, the presentation of the product. These are very, very important in determining the consumer choices. These are examples of framing effects, and they are clearly a powerful force in choice behavior. Indeed, much of marketing practice is based on understanding and utilizing such biases in consumer choice. In short, consumer preferences are also influenced by framing, not only by the prices, not only by the kind of the commodity, but by the way the commodities are presented and described that also influence consumer preferences. How choices are framed, the names they are given, the context in which they are described, and their appearance, all these things can affect the choices that individuals often make. Let us come to the definition of framing. Having understood all these examples, now we are in a position to define properly what is framing in behavioral economics. Framing is a tendency to rely on the context in which a choice is described when making a decision. Now let us come to the disease dilemma. This again explains the relevance of framing in the determination of consumer choice. Let us consider the case of hospitals. Here also, we are going to explain how framing or the description given by hospitals for treatments actually help in the determination of consumer preferences or in the determination of the choice of hospitals for treatment. Framing effects are particularly common in choices involving uncertainty. For example, consider the following decision problem. A serious disease threatens 600 people. You are offered a choice between two treatments, treatment A, treatment B, which will yield the following outcomes. Treatment A results in saving 200 lives for sure. So, treatment A says that, or treatment A's description or claim is like this, saving 200 lives for sure. Whereas treatment B's claim or result is this, a one-third chance of saving 600 lives and a two-third chance of saving no one. Look at both these sentences, which are given in red. Both sentences seem to be giving the same result, but the way in which both sentences are given is extremely different. Treatment A says that it will save 200 lives out of 600 for sure. But treatment B says that it will save only one third of 600 lives. Or, in other words, there is no chance of saving any people, that is, two-third chance of saving no one. Out of these sentences, out of these two treatments, treatment A and treatment B, which one would you choose? That's the question. Definitely, we will choose treatment A because it clearly says that it will save the life of 200 people out of 600. It's a very, very positive framing. In the above positive framing comparison, which describes how many people will live, most individuals would choose A over B. Why? Because treatment A clearly gives a description that it will save 200 lives for sure, and that caption, that description of the treatment will attract patients much more than the treatment B. Now, let us consider another choice between two treatments, treatment C and treatment D. These are negative framings because this will tell about the possibility of deaths, whereas the other treatment A and B, which we have seen, there such treatments tell us about the possibility of saving the lives, but these two treatments, treatment C and D, will tell us about the possibility of death. In that sense, you can say that these are negative framing. Let us look at the treatment C. What does it say? It says having 400 people die for sure. That means out of 600 people, 400 people will die. Treatment D, it says the same thing in certain other ways. A two-third chance of 600 people dying. The same thing. That a two-third chance of 600 people die means 400 people will surely die. But the description is slightly different. A two-third chance of 600 people dying and a one-third chance of no one dying. A one-third chance of no one dying. So both statements seem to be in negative because both speak about the possibility of persons dying despite the treatment. So treatment C says that having 400 people die for sure, but treatment D slightly puts the same thing in very polished way. That is a two-third of chance of 600 people dying and a one-third chance of no one dying. Which treatment would you choose? Again, in the above negative framing comparison, most people would definitely choose D over C. Apparently, framing the question positively in terms of lives saved makes a treatment much more attractive than framing the choice negatively in terms of lives lost. So this clearly shows that uh, in consumer choice, in the determination of consumer choice, the way the goods or commodities are presented in shops or the way the commodities are presented elsewhere and the way the commodities are described, they matter a load in the determination. They matter a load. That means framing matters a load in the determination of consumer behavior. But the relevance of framing has not been recognized by the orthodox economics. And here, the behavioral economics appears to be very relevant because it throws light on the importance of framing in the determination of consumer behavior.